here I am once again, and I am raring to go today. Welcome to Gem Collectors with Shawn. I am Shawn. Often wish that someone could step in and not replace, no, but be a sidekick. But no one just wants to step up and do that. Even the raven flies away from the thought of that. But I tell you what, my little buddy there, Corduroy, didn't. He stepped right up to the plate and was a great assistance. If you missed that show, go back a few shows. The son of a great cameraman, a great guy, Chuck, great woodworker, just great all the way around. And so yeah, 6 years old, and happened to be his birthday in October. And being October, of course, today I am filming this show on what is Halloween here. So, hence the black. I've got Asif's black jade ring and opal that he had given me, because remember, October is also the birthstone month for opal. The old-timey one, which are the only ones I really recognize. Being the old-fashioned guy that I am. And it is my, in passing, my mom's birthstone and then my son's birthstone. So, and before my son was ever even a thought, I took special opal cutting lessons. I started regular cabbing 11, probably about 12 and a half, 13 maybe at the oldest, on how to specifically cut opals. Because before they would teach you to cut opals, this one masterful cabochon cutter, masterful opal cutter, didn't facet, but when it came to, his specialty was opal. And but before they would give you that lesson, you had to go through your standard, agates and jaspers, and then phenomenon stones, cat's eyes, star stones, separate lesson in those. And and I was the youngest student that this guy had ever had. It was the back of a really nice high-end custom jewelry store on St. Armand's Circle out on Lido Beach in Sarasota. And so, when I saw that it was happening in Sarasota, I mean, when they talked about Lido Beach, my great aunt lived on Lido Beach. My grandmother, my dad's mom, she lived on Anna Maria Island. And, I was born on my dad's birthday, and every birthday we would go out to the rod and reel pier and fish. No matter what day of the year, we'd take my birthday off. And this started when I was really, really little. I guess we started like when I was 6, starting doing that. And went on until I was, 16, 17, we still went always fishing on our birthday together. And in January, even in Florida, it can be cold, but it didn't matter. We went. And so it was crushing to see the rod and reel pier gone, wiped out. Lots of memories. That was really tough for me to take. Lots of memories. Well, something was clicking in my brain when I was saying that, and so I told a couple of you, maybe I even told all of you that it's worth telling again. I remember when my dad would say, I would say, Dad, it's a long pier, I'd have to go, use the restroom, and it was simply a hole cut out that went right down to the bay in between the pilings of the pier. And I'll never forget that. It wasn't my dad, 6 kids, it's like, but Daddy, I could have fallen right through that hole. He goes, well, you were stupid enough to do that. I guess you only do it once, won't you? Kind of attitude. I mean, 6 kids, you got to figure out some stuff for yourself. I'll never forget that, because I made sure that I didn't go through. Most people wouldn't, but I was still little enough. I remember that. So anyway, great tales to be had. I only wish that at that younger of an age that I would have been more into the fossil end of things, because I worked at the rock shop in Sarasota, and it was much more rock oriented. Most fossils I got into was the Tampa Bay coral that the rock shop would get in these huge burlap bags of it, and that was when Ballast Point was still open and available. And so that's more of the most fossil end of it. And then I took some canoe trips down the Peace River, which you could find all kinds of different fossils along there. But I was never so much into it to quote prospect for those kind of things, or even had a metal detector that I should have been on the beaches of Sarasota looking like some of those some of those old dudes with the black socks and mismatched shirts and whatnot, walking down the beach with headphones on, except they weren't bebopping the music. No, they had headphones to their metal detectors. And after running a buying office here in Atlanta and having countless number of people come up and sell me their wares after, this is what they do. They go and spend their time, metal detecting on the beaches in Florida, Panama City, every morning. Sun come up, they were there. The first people on the beach were the metal detector people before anyone else got out there and before any other metal detectors got out there, because I can't tell you the number of stories I heard. Men who would want to come in to my jewelry stores and want to get a platinum band, and I would always tell the women, I said, no, they need a trainer band first. And I would, when titanium is in, which still is, they start off with titanium, move them up, and of course then it was move them up to white gold. Now that gold is 3 times what platinum is, and then to a platinum one. But the thing about water, you have to always remember, water does 2 things when it comes to how easy it is to lose a ring off your finger. Due to the, most of the time, cooler than your body temperature, it will constrict the size of your finger and then acts as a lubricant. So it's real easy if you're playing Frisbee in the water, throwing a football, or pretty much doing anything with your hands in the water, that you can easily sling your ring off of. And also, I heard one person was doing nothing but flipping the sand off of a blanket, and once that piece of jewelry is in the sand, if you do not have a metal detector, good luck finding it. I mean, needle in a haystack kind of thing. Grade of sand on the beach, about the same hardness. But with a metal detector, they work amazingly well. And treasures yet to be found. I read about treasures in England, these hoards of gold being found all the time. They have really strict laws though. If you find something, you gotta report it, turn it in. Only get to keep a fraction of it. Gotta share it with the land, all kinds of stuff. Not quite like here. All right, I have so much to get to today, I shouldn't be yakking. So let me get going. We have also a trivia winner. So let's get to doing that. Now, for all of you, what we're doing, who I'm sure are probably familiar or have seen this show before, but even if you haven't, each show I encourage comments, and we do trivia at the end of a show, usually based on something that was said, mentioned, or learned during the course of the show. Not always though. And then we go through the answers the next weekend, or just your comments. You do not have to answer the trivia or play at all. I just encourage even comments. The show was set up like that. Other parts of gem shopping are show and sell. This is show, tell, and then sell. And so as long as we can still keep selling, then we can maybe keep that ball rolling. 7.5 years strong here. So I noticed though, there's a lot of the same people getting in on the trivia winners. I mean, some people win 4, 5, 6 times a year, more, maybe, depending on how many people get involved. And whether you play trivia or not, I want to encourage your comments. You don't have to play the trivia at all, but to encourage those of you that may enjoy hearing about the comments and listening to other people's comments, but to enjoy pulling that out of some of you that have not commented before. And so to leave a comment, it only takes, of course, your email address and, whatever it takes where you watch the show to leave a comment in the part for Shawn, not the comment section that is attached right to the show. You'll see, not to the comment section, but on to the comment area where it talks about Shawn's show, and you'll see the part. In order to encourage you, I am giving away. Oh yeah. Shawn and his giveaways, can't help but to lose money there. 5, I think they're pretty much different styles of types of kyanite beads. 1 strand to the first 5 new people that leave a comment. And of course, I'll know if you've commented before. So it's for 5 of you who have never left a comment before. You don't even have to play trivia now. It has nothing to do with trivia. This is free kyanite, beautiful kyanite bead necklaces, and each is a little bit different. I think maybe two of them are similar, but beautiful. And if you've never done this, take a long wave ultraviolet light to kyanite. A lot of people don't know this, but for most of it will glow a beautiful, beautiful red. Some areas more so than others, like some of the kyanite from the Virginia area, and some of the United States kyanite will glow more so than other, but in general, kyanite has a really neat fluorescence. So, 1 strand each to the first 5 new people that leave a comment. And you can leave a comment about anything you want, And so, good luck to those of you that want to be the first, that have never before. Trying to encourage more of you to participate, because that's how we learn new things, by you asking questions, by you commenting, by playing trivia if you want. So it's a little different, where time is normally money in these sort of environments, but like I said, this show's been set up a little bit differently, and for now we're going to keep doing what we've been doing and encourage that kind of behavior. Okay, let's get to the comments left after last week's show. And the show usually almost always posts on Monday, and then you can leave your comments anytime up until about what would be Thursday morning, about 7 in the morning. So today we shoot the show on a Thursday, so it's Thursday to me, Halloween day, and I pull the comments together about 7 in the morning, 6 or 7 in the morning. So as long as you get it in after the Monday, or you can leave a comment at any time, even after that, about anything, and I'll still collate it and gather them together. Okay, so Mr. Anthony from Massachusetts is the first this week. Hello all, amazing items, great show. I was sure that was mere apophyllite and not prehnite, but the sun was in my eyes. I love that excuse. For those of you maybe joining in, what he's referring to was, sometimes we don't do a question trivia, we do a what am I. So we put up some different minerals, and then you look at them and assess and give your opinion as to what they are, and whoever wins from that gets the prize. From last week's trivia, thank you, that's a big, beautiful, smoky quartz rock. That will make an amazing pendant. I got a couple strands of beads, and I went back to the previous week's show for the parcel of turquoise cabs. I couldn't believe they were still available, and it just so happened a customer wanted a custom turquoise piece. So I will be using these stones, or some of them anyway. That's the magic of the show we talk about. And I can't believe that it hadn't sold either, and that you were able to still get it. But it's because you needed it. You sent, I don't know how it works, but it works. Things wind up where they're supposed to, and we'll just leave it at that. And I'll just accept the magic. Also, I wanted that hessonite parcel and the mint green grossular pear, as well as the leuco, which is clear, colorless garnet, extremely rare. But the garnet gods said hessonite only, and I'm happy. Those are some beautiful garnets, and I appreciate you saying that, because I had all those garnets cut from rough. They were rough that I had gotten in this massive estate deal. I mean, they're going way back, and I can date not only from when I got them, but the person who had owned them before me. I know the family really well, and the family grew up in Helen, Georgia, where I was from, and I later ended up owning the safe as part of the one of the estates of the family, and as part of all that, I got these old stock bags of rough. I'm talking about material that you just couldn't get your hands on much anymore. The Madagascar apatites, the Umba sapphires, those hessonites, all of those I got as rough. And so I have a large quantity, high quality cutter in Thailand, and at very fair pricing. And well, I've showed you before, for those of you who have watched the show long enough, the podcast long enough, the little scraps, and I think this time I had showed you the little pieces of apatite that they had sent back to me. So every tiny little leftover piece, as they're trimming the rough down to cut the stones, they give back to you. It's an amazing that they do that. And then of course, you can actually use those, because remember I talked about someone like any of us can take little pieces like that. That's why it does matter. And we can crush them up and create and use them as gemstone sand and create paintings, as I've showed you how others in Vietnam do it. It's amazing. Oh, by the way, I actually found, in going down the hall doing my mining, and I hit the vein where the gemstone paintings were. So I'm going to bring in a couple of those that don't have the cracked glass, and again show everybody what I'm talking about, because it's a really neat use for gems that aren't expensive but yet are cool to do something with. And so yeah, is to really actually crush them up as sand and use them as basically a medium to, quote, paint with. It's if you ever wondered what I'm talking about, just Google it and put Vietnamese gemstone paintings, and there's a video that's amazing, and it shows how they done. Really, really interesting. So good job on getting the turquoise, Mr. Anthony, but too bad you missed out on the garnets. But you know, I'm glad someone took advantage of them, because they were amazing deals on those garnets. And remember, the turquoise made in America, so that was part of my collection. And the other that I focused on was garnets, my birthstone. So a good job on appreciating those, because they were truly some beautiful, beautiful garnets. And today's show, you just might see some more. Yeah. So the neat thing about the garnets was that I told them how I wanted them cut. That's why in some of the descriptions you'll see, if there was room, I put a custom cut. So I actually told them the shape, you know, as far as choices first, and basically particular indexing and angles, so that none would window and that they would come out as brilliant as they have. And but that's what you get when you're willing to pay for what they call fancy cuts, and then you have some leeway to instruct them on how you want them cut. Mr. Anthony goes on to say, Shawn, when you take the time to guide and make sure we are aware and what to watch out for, it is greatly appreciated. Thank you. Trivia, please omit from any prize. So the questions were, name 3 differences in an old mine cut compared to a round brilliant. And those answers we were looking for would be a small table. If you look, the percentage of the diameter of the table, that's the big, large, flat facet on top, is always smaller than American brilliants or even European cuts. And then the high crown. So the angle of an old mine cut crown, you know, relative to the circumference, the girdle, is going to be, on American brilliant, it's like this relative to the plane. And on an old mine cut, the angles are up much higher like this, creating, so they go up higher, and with a higher crown, thus then creating a smaller table. Then the other part is the pavilion. So on American brilliants, the pavilion comes to a point, just like the letter V, except in an old mine cut and even European cuts, at the very base of the V, they would cut a flat facet or keep the angles as such that they didn't close in all the way when it was cut. And so many of, when I would, were showing and selling a lot of the state pieces during that really, really popular time for engagements when everyone wanted an antique ring. So when I was instructing the newly engaged about their diamond ring and showing them the old cuts and the differences, invariably, they would almost always say, "Oh, you mean that hole in the middle of the diamond?" And I couldn't help it, but they're right. It looks like a hole. It's so crazy. So when you look at the diamond, all of your focus, I mean, it's just like a big window, except intentionally put there. And it does look like a hole. But now, it is something that you actually want in an old mine-cut diamond. And some of them are really quite large, but certainly definitive. The fourth thing I would add about old mine-cut diamonds, when they're set, it's tough to see, so I didn't really make that an issue. But when they're loose and you go to measure the circumference of how round they are, they're not. I mean, some of them are actually more cushion shaped than round. They're that off round. So they would just really work with what they would have and the shape of the crystal. So if you had, of course, two pyramids, a bipyramidal crystal, which, it's isometric, so you're going to either get cubes or you're going to get, well, remember the diamonds I showed? Or you're going to get, what looks like two pyramids base to base. So, if you cleave those and split those in two, you end up with like a square. Even if you go with a Congo diamond, you start off with a square. So you end up with, back during that period, a lot of diamonds that were a little bit more cushiony or square. It was easier to do that. Less metal, less stone loss, and what do they care? It's still a beautiful diamond, and the thought of matching rounds and all this just wasn't quite all together there yet. They also had a limited supply because, unless it was in the late 1800s, there was no African diamonds. They were Indian or Brazilian, so you didn't have the quantity to work with. So you worked with what you had, and however it turned out, which is amazing, the quality pieces they made during that time. And how they even cut the diamonds is still, with the hardest of diamonds, is still mind-blowing to me. So, those were what we were looking for. The second question was, what does the Greek word Hessin refer to in the type of glossy garnet called hessonite? And it means inferior due to a lower hardness, lower specific gravity, lower refractive index. So they consider it inferior to the other garnets. Kind of like the low zircons are relative to high zircons. Low zircons are like the red zircons, green zircons. They have lower refractive index, lower brilliance, lower specific gravity than, say, blue zircon or white zircon. Those kind of things. So, and then trapeche. What does, okay, so the question number 3. Trapeche comes from, the name trapeche comes from what item? And it was, you wouldn't really know this unless you were, I actually lived in Mexico and I lived in Ecuador as a teenager, both 2 different summers, and I saw sugarcane grinding wheels, and nothing changes much sometimes in these countries. I mean, they go back, hundreds of years doing the same thing, pulled by a single donkey and around and around, and it would squeeze the sugar cane and crush it to get the sugars out. So the wheel had 6 spokes to it, to the wheel and how it would turn. So the trapeche, of course, based on the hexagonal crystal system that beryl forms in, has those 6, in a perfect world, the 6 legs that is reminiscent of a sugar cane grinding wheel. So that's where the name, which is called trapeche or trapeche, some say, or trapeche. So that's where it comes from. All right. Now, that said, Mr. Anthony got all the answers correct. Now we have Miss Cindy. Hello, Rock family. What a show. So many wonderful things to see and learn from. Thank you. Wanted to mention that one of the Arkansas quartz crystals you sent from the trivia answer 2 weeks ago has a phantom in it. Really? You want to send it back? Thank you for telling me that. And that's just it. I did not know that, because if I would have known it, I would have bragged about it, showing it to you at the time. So that is Miss Cindy, who won a trivia prize a couple weeks ago. So as I tell everybody, the fun is not to just get your mineral specimens, look at it with your eyes, you know, from this distance and say, oh, that's beautiful, and put it up. No, you get out magnification, you get out your ultraviolet lights, you get out your Geiger counter if you got them. You get out a magnet, all these things, and you look at it and study it, and you have fun with it, and you play with your rocks and minerals just like anybody else would in a hobby. That's how you enjoy them. So I see that she had more fun with her quartz crystals than I apparently got to, because she discovered a phantom in one of them, which greatly increases the value of it. So well done there. That gets you a woohoo. Okay, she also then goes to this neat little rock swap occasionally, and she got some nice treasures at the rock show. A new, to me, item, ilvite. Now, ilvite, oddly enough, I probably won't ever have anything to show you, but I do know what it is. Named after originally the island of Elba, and that was the original name, and then it got changed to Elba Island, which we know is in the Mediterranean. And peridot, of peridot fame, of Elbaite fame, you know, very common type of tourmaline. And so it was discovered as long back as 1784, but the naming of it went through a horrific time of Elbaite, the process of it. So it ended up back to that point. Where, let's see, from Dalenogorsk, Russia. So which I'm really surprised that they even knew where it came from and knew what it was. So wherever you're going to, hats off to them for having that kind of information. Dalenogorsk is known as the place to get the finest quality crystals and formation of that type of mineral. It's a calcium Fe2+, Fe3+, silicate hydroxide. It's kind of complicated, but it's always a black mineral for the most part, and it can form some nice crystals, but not too commonly. It is one of those really unique ones to be able to say you have. So good going. And I would take a magnet to it just to check it, because with the Fe2+ and Fe3+ valences, it would most likely be magnetic indeed. So very cool. And by the way, Dolomieu was the first person to actually spot that mineral and recognize it as something new. And Dolomieu, why should you know that name? Of dolomite fame. Yep, of the mineral dolomite. Let's see, you also say you got bornite from the Mansula mine in Zimbabwe. Beautiful stuff. Bornite, very similar chemically to chalcopyrite, but has a strong copper presence, and so you get these beautiful iridescence, just like kind of peacock ore and chalcopyrite. A small grandidierite from Madagascar. Oh my goodness, I can't tell you, what was it, maybe 10 years ago? I was the grandidierite king. I sold more faceted grandidierite upstairs in the live show than anyone else did. I was buying it right. I was getting in on auctions, these auctions that people were putting up silly, if that's the word. I made it up. On the internet, and I would go in because no one else knew really what grandidierite was. I'd just lowball, and most of the time I'd get the bid. It was crazy. And then of course it became really popular, and then they were bidding it way beyond any value it was ever worth. But for a while there, I was able to get it lot after lot, really inexpensive, and I sold it here really inexpensive because I was just basing it on what I paid for it. I should have never sold any of it, hung on to it. That's for another day. So good job on that. A small econite. Oh man, you are getting some treasures here from Sri Lanka. The dealer did warn me, and he put his Geiger on it, our nickname for a Geiger counter. And I'm glad he did that. This impresses me about this place that you go to, because not only do they know the location of not only this country that these items you have are from, but the name of the mines as well. And then also to explain to you what econite is and the cautions that should come with it, and to be able to even have the Geiger counter to show you. So well done on him. A sphinx, Vesuvianite from Skardu, Pakistan. A highlight opal on Nontronite and in rhyolite jasper from Baker County, Oregon. And last but not least, one dealer had the cutest Halloween advent boxes. They had 9 windows to open with little carvings. Mine had a rose quartz mushroom, mineral bracelets, mineral keychain, 1-inch sphere on a little stand, some loose specimens, typical crystal shop. Kind of fun. Kitschy. That must be a Pennsylvania word. I thoroughly enjoyed my 4 hours there. It sounds like you did. You sound like you did really well. I have to thank you and the rest of the Gem family for educating me along the way. I would not even recognize that these were items that were such rare finds and that I even needed in my life. I'm very happy to be learning as I go in search of. You absolutely need every single one of those rocks and minerals. Every one. There's never one that you don't need. Just look at me. Did I ever turn down a rock? There's never a rock I found that I did not like. And you guys are getting to share in that 53-year passion now. Amazing, unusual things. Things that I'm actually having to figure out what some of them are myself. Not usually the primary ones. I'm talking about the secondary and tertiary type of minerals on a specimen that the dealers don't even know. Those are the ones I go after. It takes a lot of time to research and to figure them all out. But it can be done. And I'm glad that your knowledge from the show, Miss Cindy, gave you the confidence to get in on the items that you did. I think you did really well. Answers to the questions, let me see. Open culet, high crown, small table, sugarcane, you got them all right. Inferior, yep. Everybody have a wonderful week. Cindy in South Central Pennsylvania. Sapphire collections were magnificent. Yeah, they were beautiful. They were beautiful. You should see how long it took me. I actually put them in those little tubes like that. Miss Penny says, hello, Shawn, the lovely Raven, amazing GSN crew and fellow rockhounds. Hope everyone is well. Trivia, old mine, cut diamond, smaller table, smaller table, yep. Higher table, which I know you meant higher crown. And then, and no culet. Well, I know you meant open culet. But I do know that you meant that. Inferior, and then the grinding wheel for sugarcane. At least that's what I remember. So thank you for another informative show. Faves of the week, I love the Indian ruby specimen, followed by the rainbow obsidian pendant and the Ethiopian and Australian opals. Definitely some trivia envy this week. Good on you, Mr. Anthony. That's a beautiful smoky quartz. Work is absolutely insane. Who would have thought that being a secretary in a high school, grade 7 to 11 here in Quebec, ages 12 to 17, would be so demanding and draining? The students are going from bad to worse. I don't hold out much hope for this generation. Aww. And to think, that's Asif's kids' generation.
I agree.
How many girls you have there, Asif?
2.
Two teenage girls. Oh my.
No, the second one's not teenager yet.
Not yet? Okay, what do they call those, pre-tweens or something?
One is a teenager.
One's a teenager. One teenager makes up for lots of other non-teenagers. Yeah, so the students are going from bad to worse. Okay, let's see. And to think that they will be our future doctors, lawyers, politicians, etc. However, when I talk to the parents, I know exactly why the students are the way they are. Okay. Well, Miss Penny, you may not get your items featured much on the show anymore. Since no, he doesn't.
I agree with that too.
No, he does agree with that. He does. He is one that will call it as he sees it. Believe me, I know. The onus is on us parents. As I keep reiterating, parents, please teach your children basic manners and respect. Enough rambling again. I wish everyone a wonderful week and hope to see you next week. I hope to see you next week as well. And it is on the parents. A lot of people don't realize that. The generation my son was born in 1988. He was born, and in of course, working with many of his friends as he went to through college. So, and then they got married right out of college, and also his fraternity buddies. So, in talking to all these guys, now maybe it was because I don't really know what, but everyone was such a better person than I ever was at that time, at that in that age of 20, 21, 22. I mean, they were great kids, and now, you know, when he's told me what they've, you know, grown up and become. One was the number one helicopter pilot during the Afghan war, and, you know, an ace helicopter pilot, Cobra attack helicopter pilot. And, you know, so I think, okay, so you get out of the military, which I was surprised, because they go through all that training to become one, and then he's an investment banker. It has nothing to do with flying helicopters at all. After all that intensive training and being the best at that time for what you did, and then to leave it all, I wasn't like that. I picked up rocks. I am the Charlie Brown of life. You can put a rock in my Halloween bag every time, and I will appreciate it and love it more than a piece of candy. And being Halloween, I always celebrate Charlie Brown. And he didn't know what he had. He just didn't know the great things that rock might have led him to. He just had to follow a passion he had to create for.
Put a rock in someone's candy thing, that rock's coming back through the window.
Asif, do I dare repeat that?
Yeah, please.
Asif said if you put a rock in, I'm going to imbibe a little, you know, if you put a rock in his candy bag, it's coming right back through your window. And yeah, this is a guy I work. Luckily, there's this screen between us, you know, because you know what? I got the rocks. Maybe I could chunk them over the top of that thing, but he's got the camera. He can make my face look real funny and stuff. So we won't do that. So Miss Penny, that's terrible to say that, especially when you put the N word there, politicians. Here we go. Vote. Okay, so I have nothing else to say. Never am going to ever discuss politics except when it comes time to vote, which you'll be seeing this show the day, those of you in the United States, the day before Tuesday, Super Tuesday, whatever they call it. No, Super Tuesday, Voting Tuesday. So vote. And you know what I was going to look up out of curiosity? I was just going to look up to see if there was such a thing as voter right. I was just curious. You know, there's almost names for minerals, you know, so many of them I've never even heard of. I'll be curious. But I know right now, I still haven't done it yet, so I will probably by the time you will have seen this show, because I'm curious to know if they're, I mean, believe me, it won't be after vote or voter. It'll be some guy's name that was voter or a location, and you got the name after that. Because, yeah, we'll see. I will do my research on that. All right. Oh, Miss Penny, you don't ramble any more than I do. Let me see, what else did I want to cover in what you had to say? Okay, yeah, so there were several people that really appreciated the old mine cut ring. I do happen to know that beautiful, and I really like this part, that it did sell, that a client really recognized it for the value that it was, because just one single diamond out of that ring, it was worth the entire amount I was asking for the whole piece. And there was $200 in metal alone. So you could back out the $200 because that's just straight actual metal value. And so what you're getting for the rest of those diamonds is the quality, and hard to find genuine old cuts. You know, they're trying to keep up and remake this old mine cut jewelry. They were actually recutting European cuts and old mine cut diamond because you can't keep up with some of the demand. But here's the neat thing. One way you can tell that you have a genuine old mine cut diamond, because over that many years, and I know this is kind of hard to imagine, being diamond, the very hardest substance on earth, but over time, you can see a little abrasion sometimes along the edge of the table, along the edge of the girdle, not nicks, just little abrasions. And that is, and tells you just how long that ring has been tumbled around in jewelry boxes. And remember, a diamond against another diamond, now that will definitely can abrade something. Now it can take time, but when you're talking about old mine diamond, you're talking about 150 years old, older, 100 to 100, 200 years, somewhere in that range, even back into the Georgian period. Easily long enough for that to occur. Now, of course, the other way is fluorescence. What I did on that old mine cut ring, first thing I did, just quickly, was I put a black light on it. Because remember, 1 out of 10 diamonds should show some degree of fluorescence, blue fluorescence. And sure enough, one was kind of strong, the other was light. That told me right away, okay, there's diamonds here. We have diamonds here, because cubic zirconia or sapphires will not fluoresce like that. And so then, then of course, instant with looping. But I was curious to see how many were fluorescent. And if I ever find one of those, very, very hard to find diamonds that fluoresces yellow, that's bigger, I guess the biggest one that I've seen that fluorescing yellow was about a 10-pointer. That's how rare they are. They're about 1 in 1,000, but I don't know. I don't even see them that often, it seems. And then, of course, you can get like that, which Mr. Matt wanted more of, that strand of diamonds that were drilled, the rough diamonds, and that had fluorescence of all kinds of colors. Wow. I wouldn't have probably sold that if I really knew that I didn't have another one. So lucky for you, Mr. Matt. Okay, so I think I covered everything. All right, so we had lots of winners here, but with the opt-out and the others, we assign a number and draw a name to that name and number, and it works out magically to seems to be always fair. This week's winner is Mr. Matt from Texas. Congratulations, Matt. And let's show you what you have won. Look at this. Look at this. Now, I even got a compliment from Asif as to how I laid those out. He actually did not move a single piece. And, it's amazing. It's so hands-on. I have never seen him be so helpful as he is in my show, and so I really encourage that participation. There's other situations, or maybe other vendors or hosts that don't appreciate the amount of knowledge and help that production knows, and should probably lend themselves to opening themselves up to that assistance a little more often, because he has taught me so much, especially creating those 30 videos and directing me. Now, you wouldn't know it, but I actually talk less now because of that than I would have during those shows, and the editing was amazing. I like watching them, even though I normally don't like to hear myself. But those How It's Done series, if you ever wondered how any type of jewelry project, including the making of a ring, start to finish, whether it is handmade, because we made 2 pieces, one completely handmade, following the FTC guidelines, and the other is made from the lost wax method of casting. So really informational, shows you the difference between why sizing a platinum ring is more expensive than sizing a gold ring, and the difficulties, and all kinds of stuff, how to alloy metals, all kinds of neat things. Watch them. You'll learn so much. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to go around these really quickly. This is genuine chalcedony. Look at that, mother of pearl, rose quartz, snowflake obsidian, created by cristobalite inclusions. Here is a cool.
That should be a trivia right there. Identify these stones.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. It should be. Look at this. There you go. Asif's been getting that and getting them all. Beautiful, actually, labradorite. Yeah, you did. Okay, and this? No, you know that one? Lapis.
Hold on. Let me put the black light on it.
You're right. You're right. It actually does have a UV ultraviolet. It does. You're right. And this one, you know this one? Circular green.
Crystal pearl? Or no?
Begins with an M.
Malachite?
Yeah, malachite.
Really?
Yeah, look at the circles on that. Yep, malachite. This goes by 2 names. The common one would be spotted jasper, but the fancy name they came up with was Dalmatian jasper. And you can see why. Yeah. This, most people would just want to say agate, but it's a special type of agate from an organic substance, thereby making it petrified wood. Petrified wood. You can see some of the
That's wood.
pattern in it. It was at one time, about 100 million years ago. Okay, I think we covered them all. And there you go. Neat collection. Oh, yeah. This is,
Mother of pearl?
yep, mother of pearl. Look at that. So this is actually what they, the mother of pearl that they use is from another shell. And this is, they'll take this material and they will carve out a bead, and that is what they use to implant cultured pearls with. So look at the thickness of this. They could, maybe make 3mm beads out of it and put it in a pearl. The most ever, after about a year, that usually they will pull the pearl, pull the oyster, take the pearl out, and it may add 1mm completely to the diameter. So if you start off with a 5mm bead implant of mother of pearl, after about a year, you get about a 0.5mm buildup of nacre on it, which adds up to a total diameter of about 1mm. 6 months, and it's so thin, that's when you get the layers that flake off of the actual bead, and then you actually see the mother of pearl bead underneath. So 6-month pearls, even though they look good for a moment, that's about as long as they last a moment. There's no one here that I know of that sells any 6-month pearls at Gem Shopping. They're all, the full one, and of course the higher grade quality, the 2-year. But that's a long time for a lot of things can go wrong when you're growing the oysters in baskets in Mother Nature. Just write out everything from pollution to storms. The longer time goes, the greater chance that something can go wrong with an entire 2 years catch worth or growth of the Pinctada margaritifera or the regular cultured Akoya pearls. Okay, my bad. For weeks now, a couple weeks, ever since I teach you with it, I have been wanting to show you the incredible before and after of Miss Gabby, who I should know better. I thought that the before was going to be unmatched. It was that 33 karat, incredible quality, yellow chrysoberyl piece of rough that I've had since it was originally mined in 1969. And so she mentioned she had wanted it for the before, and I thought the after was the very large 3.5 carat chrysoberyl, beautiful yellow chrysoberyl for the after. So the two side by side, what it looks like in the rough and what it looks like cut. No, a very, very smart, good client cleverly bought the well underpriced 3.5 carat. Miss Gabby had another stone to go with the after instead of that one, and it a little bit closer matched the 33 karat piece of rough I had. Let's show you the before and after of Miss Gabby's. Look at that. She has an after larger. Well, it looks larger, but because of the shape of the crystal. I think her after is 28 carats. The crystal on the one on the left that you see is the piece that she picked up for the before that I had showcased at 33 carats. Gem quality. But a 33 carat piece of rough will not cut a 28 carat finished goods. It usually takes about at least twice the weight. So I can't imagine how beautiful a piece it was. But both came from the same origin, and hence why you have almost, at least in this picture, a perfect match for color tone. Even though Miss Gabby, I could say the kitchen counter and you could have maybe turned the crystal a little differently. No, a great, amazing museum quality for either one of those, let alone to have both together. Well done. So I just wanted to show everybody something that blew my mind. And she said that she thought it was impressive that I was impressed. Are you kidding me? I'm more than impressed. I am floored that you would come up with a finished chrysoberyl larger than the piece of rough. All right, I'm going to put that picture up, and I'll be right back with the star of the show. This was a surprise that no one had scooped up this amazing garnet specimen, of course, from my collection, and spessartine garnet. The ones from the Shawn mine, these are the ones where you have the spessartine garnets growing up the side of this incredible smoky quartzes. And I've had museum quality pieces of this material that I have sold over the many years. This absolutely is, for the size and all, is a world-class piece. Look at it in my hand. So it would be considered a small cabinet. Some would call it a medium-sized cabinet specimen. But this isn't all to it. Look at this. It is double-sided. A double-sided piece. And, you know, even that formation there, it makes me wonder what exactly they're covering up. As we go in closer to this, you can see the clarity to these crystals is just phenomenal. Phenomenal clarity. And that really beautiful Fanta orange color tone to them. And on this side as well, with some classic shape for the crystals in garnet. See that when you see that diamond kind of shape right there? And you'll see that often. See that? That's just in one angle, and I see 3 right there. That is a good idea that you have helps you to understand that you have a garnet crystal. Look at back in that little area. It is in places back in areas like that where you can often find minerals that you didn't know a particular specimen would have. Look at how thick also you can see in other specimens I've had. You couldn't actually see how thick the spessartine is, and you can see right there just how thick the gem part of the piece is. So this has some internal crystals in it as well. And so I would look real carefully at these to see exactly what I meant. I can see some other crystals right there too. So definitely one to do some homework on. And I have this relative to what, oh, look at that, and it stands up, and with it turning on its own, what more can it do? Wow. So this is a specimen that I had priced it already at such a incredible value that it's one that only just because I'm not very bright. I had it for only $158 and no one took advantage of it, and that is bizarre. Just one side of it would be worth that. So let's, you know what, since I always say, oh, I knock a little bit off when I can, I'll do that. $148, and that will be, that gets the final price next to it, because there's just absolutely no way I can go lower than that. The value far exceeds that, as any of you know. I just think some days that, or some weeks that other great stuff has wiped out your pocketbook, and you can't take advantage of all the goodies that are out there. Okay, so this next item, this is, let me see, yeah. So if you just leave off the item number, I'm just going to show these, so we don't need an item number because I already talked about it, but I want to show them. I didn't get a chance to show them individually. Okay, for all those of you who remember at the beginning when I was talking about comments, I wanted to encourage you, more of you, to send in your comments or participate in the trivia. You don't have to participate in the trivia. Just send me a comment, good, bad, or ugly, whatever you want. But I'm telling you what, so many people are getting these trivia, one on average every 4 to 6 weeks, the same person wins. So if you want to get in on that, fine. If not, fine as well. But for this coming week, the first 5 new people that leave a comment, the first 5 new people that leave a comment, and I'll know if you've ever left a comment before. So, and it can be anything. It doesn't have to be long or anything. Just say whatever you feel like it. But the first 5 are going to get a free strand of kyanite beads. And so I said there was only 2 that were similar. Look at Beautiful, beautiful kyanite, a wonderful material, a polymorph of sillimanite and andalusite, meaning chemically the same but different crystal system, and also beautiful red fluorescence. Look at this. So I love kyanite. I actually intentionally did not offer these for sale because I would rather give them to 5 new people that have never left a comment before. Now, it doesn't mean you might have bought from the show, but you never left a comment. 5 new commenters, and in the area where it says leave comment for Shawn, in that area. All right, so only have 5 to give away, the first 5, but we'd love to get 10, 15, however many of you want to participate. You never know what I may come up with if there's more than 5. I tend to be overly generous. So anyway, wanted to get that in before I start showing you some amazing gems. Item number 121, 8524. This is the Gem Collector Show. So what would you expect? We have done lots of rocks and minerals, right? We have done a little bit of this, a little bit of that, but one thing we haven't done so much of is actual gemstones. And amazing gemstones, ones that you don't always see. And Asif and I were talking about before the show, Gem Shopping Network as a whole has brought to the public more unique gemstones than I know of any other TV, online type of business that sells fine jewelry. I mean, they will put unique and rare everything from sillimanites to yeromedievites to some of the rarest stones, pozodaites, in fine jewelry, and you just don't see that anywhere else. And then educate them about them as well. And if you want that deeper education, you're at the right show. Look at this. When's the last time have you seen such an outstanding cat's eye jade? Maybe never. I am telling you what, this is a level of jade you don't normally see. Now, cat's eye jade, now remember, nephrite is really a type of actinolite. I know that's going to be hard for a lot of people to wrap their heads around. Jadeite is a completely different mineral. It belongs to the pyroxenes family. Let me show you this. Look, yeah, cat's eye jade. This is item number 121, 8524, and I had this material, if you might remember, Latif, it was Siberian back in the live show, and I sold quite a few cabochones, even large ones, but there's a big difference. Oh, did I put Yakusha? Yeah, could you take the Yakusha out of there? That was, I don't know why that got in there, but that is actually a place where the Siberian jade, cat's eye jade, comes from. And the difference in the Siberian cat's eye jade, a lot of it, some comes from Yakusha, and others come from further east, more into the peninsula. Now, the cat's eyes in the Siberian material. First, the color of the nephrite is different. It is not quite so much of an olive color. And here's the other thing, if you notice, which you probably I'm sure never noticed, cat's eyes in jade, they cut the center of the cabochon will be a ridge. You see how this is a classic, perfect dome for a cabochon. Just a perfect, even dome. But the Siberian material, they'll cut to where there's a ridge line, so that it's angled up to where there's like a center ridge, not a soft flowing dome. They do that to enhance the cat's eye material. And that is kind of a play on cutting. Yes, it's a good way to cut it to bring out the eye, but a more valuable look is when you have an amazing cat's eye and don't have to cut the gem in that form to bring out the eye. Cat's eye in jade is one of the rarest types of cat's eye there is. And most of the times it is not even this well defined. You can see this is a really sharp eye, and that is not often seen. The other thing is, I have had this for decades. This is, I collected optical gemstones for a long time. So I had a whole tray of cat's eyes of every different kind of thing. Look at that. And stars as well, star stones, and also color change stones. So optical phenomenon gems. This was always one of my prized stones because it was not the Siberian material. It is cut extremely well. I did not cut it, except I wished I could have said I did. I collected it though, and I hung on to it for a long time. I went to another website, another well-known, actually, TV network website, and I'm not afraid to even intimate that I did because I about fainted and fell down when I saw how much that, they had a few of these from Washington State, and the price was over $800 per carat. Per carat, and the eyes were weak. The color was in the range it should be for the Washington material. Washington material can actually even be a little bit bluish at times. This color is far from what the some of the Siberian colors look like, plus the cat's eye are completely different. Now, here is how you tell that this, someone might say, how do I know that it's not hawk's eye? Now, for those of you that don't know the kind of a retail name for it, hawk's eye, and they have some other name. I don't try to remember them all because basically it's cat's eye quartz, okay? Cat's eye quartz, which is a greenish kind of tint. Well, nephrite, which is what this is, okay, nephrite jade, is actually a type of actinolite, okay? And now, a little bit of history about nephrite itself. The word stems from lapis nephriticus, which actually translates to kidney stone. And it was, in Spanish, piedra de hijada. And hijada, which is, depending on how you spell it, whether you spell it the Colombian way or more of the Mexican way, but H-I-J-A-D-A. Why I say that? That is where the word jade stems from. And what that means is colic stone. So the pebbles, because they were, reminded people of and alluvially tumbled, like that piece of jade I sold last week, or offered for sale. Don't know if it sold, but it did look like kind of a kidney. So it has this lapis nephriticus, meaning kidney stone, and of course was later changed to nephrite. On the jade end, from the Spanish side, piedra is stone, and hijada means colic. So colic stone, and both referencing medical situations. So nephrite itself is in a range of minerals from actinolite to tremolite. And I say that because when you see white jade, or you hear about mutton fat jade, right? These jades, what they tend to be is more of the pure tremolite. If you've heard of tremolite, that's because it also is in a series with asbestos and the serpentines. All of those, especially like that antigerite serpentine I showed the other week from Pennsylvania, stunningly look like nephrite. Now, all this ties back to something real important. How do I know what my stone is? Well, first thing you do, you take like this tweezers I had, and you try to scratch the stone somewhere that you can't tell. I tried to scratch it, and what I did was I left metal from my tweezers on the stone. So I took my tweezers and then I scratched them with the stone. So tweezers did not scratch stone, stone scratched tweezers. This is hardened steel, hardness of 5.5, telling you that the nephrite, or what this material is at least a hardness of 6, 6.5 in that range, which is just the range that it should be. Here's the other neat trick that no one knows to do. And that is this is where chemical formulas become real important. Actinolite has iron in its formula, in its chemical makeup. And if it has iron in the right form, then it should be magnetic. So I, of course, put my magnet to it, my N52, the official magnet, and get nothing. I mean, you know, not like garnet where it just sticks to it, right? Of course, then you know, I took my jade, and I did this with Raven watching. She goes, I'm not even going to ask what you're going to do, what you're doing. I'm just going to watch. And so I took another little dish and I floated it of water. I floated this in the dish of water, and then I took my magnet and I placed it about this far away. And I made that little boat, my little jade boat, move anywhere I wanted to by just moving the magnet. In other words, iron was present, but in the what would be, of course, the right. In other words, if it would have stuck directly to it, there'd have been a problem. It had just the right amount of attraction to the magnet for it to be exactly what it is, an actinolite nephrite, which all nephrite has. Nephrite jade is actually a rock. It's composed of many, especially nephrite, upwards, I think I read them to you the other week, upwards of 8 different other minerals can be involved with nephrite, and it still be classified as jade. And so cat's eye nephrite from Washington State is the real rarity. That is the real rarity, and that is what you want. So the green color is also due to iron, but it can contain diopside, chromite, graphite, prehnite, apatite, rutile, serpentine, the polymorphs of serpentine, vesuvianite, and grossular garnet. Chrome nephrite you've seen before. That has chromium, and that is what helps make Mount Sit with ophiolite and other jade classified minerals, that beautiful bright green that you see. So this cat's eye, by every valuation, should be thousands of dollars. And you know, I hadn't looked at the market in a decade. I cannot wrap my head around that, and I can't wait, or I maybe should, to get that kind of return on that stone. But for me, I know I didn't pay, you know, thousands. I actually don't know, but what I will do is I'll make this a bargain that is unbelievable. $174. $174. And that is going to be one of the finest deals in a cat's eye you'll ever find. And let me correct myself, in a cat's eye jade, because if you say cat's eye, it means chrysoberyl, unless you follow up with the mineral that it is. So the only time you can just say cat's eye is in reference to a cat's eye chrysoberyl. If it's a chrysoberyl, anything else you should need to say cat's eye silicite, cat's eye tourmaline, cat's eye emerald, cat's eye jade. Beautiful gem. What a beautiful gem that stone is for that amount of money. And also, with that level of knowledge that you have now, should really make you feel comfortable in getting something that is so unique and rare. Okay, let me show you. Let's look at some amazing deals. Item 121, 7124. Now, let's remove this. I'll let you see that for a moment. Let's make this spin, which we don't do too often. I am going to show you, let's go back to the Umba district. Now when we see the Umba district of Tanzania, we are also talking about the river. Now remember, rivers meander back and forth, and so you could be mining alluvial stones and never be in the river. You know, the river could be, you know, hundreds of yards away in the valley where it was, you know, millions of years ago, which is oftentimes the case. They're mining the Ceylon alluvial fields that are in rice paddies that are, you know, 30, 40 feet deep and have to be pumped out with water. But that was still alluvial mining because millions of years ago, that's where the river ran. Take a look at this. Take a look at this jewel here. This is natural color, no heat. Beautiful, beautiful Umba Tanzanian sapphire. An incredible gem. And you know, purple is the second rarest color after Podparacha. And so to get a purple sapphire that's no heat, and my point in being to no heat, you have to, you know, of course, to certify it for what I'm charging, it costs more to certify it than the stone. But here's the thing, I can say 100% for certain that these were all cut from untreated rough. Untreated rough that goes back to the 70s and 80s at the newest, because I can actually trace that batch of rough back that far. And the older, the better in almost all cases, like take the Kashmir sapphires, which are mined out. Sorry, I was moving that around, trying to get it to the middle there. All right, price on this guy, it is 47 points, and so let's do this on a no heat, beautiful purple. I'm going to make that one only $44. Only $44, less than $100 a carat. And purple, that is a wonderful, valuable, desirable color. Yeah, it does look awful bright. How did I get it to look so white? Yeah, is that it? Oh, let me do that. No, that's not even, no, my light's not even on. Let me turn my light on. Oh yeah, let me add that. Let me add the other yellow component to the lighting. That balances it out. That's what it was missing. Also, when sapphires are in this purple bluish type of range, I find a lot of them have a degree of color change to them. I don't know why it's in that color range that it happens, sometimes more than others. Also, you will get a color difference by just the dichroic nature of the material itself. But that is a wonderful gem, and one of the larger stones that was that cut from that material. Now, let me show you item 1217024. We've got a lot to get to, so you just have to excuse me if I don't take out stones like this. You know what they would look like. Look at those. Same kind of color range as this beautiful pear shape, but I didn't want to add, look at that. Look at that. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Look at how beautiful that is. So, look at that matched pair of cushion cuts. My favorite shape is the square cushion, and those are almost a matched pair beneath them in the elongated cushions. And the neat thing is, wouldn't that make an amazing pair of drop earrings? I mean, and that was my whole idea back in the day, all these projects I have. And you can see, if you think that they look a different color, it's because of the purple-blue dichroic nature, depending on the angle I turn them. Also, a little bit of that pink flash coming out of them. So, really desirable there. So, with the dimensions, I went with the largest. So, the 4.3 would be the dimensions of the cushion, the square cushion cut. And that gives you an idea then of the dimensions of the others, just roughly. And they're all clean, regardless of how dirty my my tube might be right there. All right, price on this entire parcel. Again, mined in the 70s, 80s. This is old stock. I did have them cut, but when I had them cut, that's still been 10 or 15 years ago. So they've been cut in my collection all this time. I have been hanging on tight. I kept thinking I was going to make something incredible with them. And so to let them go, it's kind of a kind of sad in a way. You're going to love this price. You're going to love this price. I'm not so sure I'm going to though. $58. I'm just going to stick with it. $58 is what I have. $58 is what I am going with. And so so remember, the larger, and why is like the pear shape priced the way it was? If you figure a price per carat, those should be, you know, if they were 90 a carat, $108. I don't know why I priced them at $58. I could not even come up with a reason why I made them that inexpensive. I don't know, but let's see where we go with when I show you. Do I have any podporachas? Item number 121, 8524. 121, 8524. And so I have a lot to get to, so you have to excuse me if I just don't take all these out and put them back in. I just think they're so pretty. The amount of time it took me just to get them like that, you see, like that, you have no idea how many times I took that lid back off, put them in and lined them back up, and then stuck the lid back on. And I know how to do this in the shortest amount of time possible, but every time it kept coming out a little crooked. And anyway, that's as good as you get. Look at that, look at that, look at those. For $58, I'm out of my mind. All right, look at those. Now that, if you have ever wondered what real podporacha, did I give you the wrong item number? 121, 6524. Probably my lack of ability to see. If you have ever wondered what real podporacha should look like, these are the colors. When you turn them different ways, see the pink, see the peach, see the pink and peach together, that is real podporacha. Now, not saying anything against any labs or whatever, because I have seen, as you have, lab certified podporachas, and you look and you look and you say to yourself, where's the orange? Where's the sunset, you know? And all you see is pink. Seldom do I ever see it the other way around. You know, the orange or the peachy color and looking for the pink. It's almost always like all pink, and I wonder, you know, where's the beef kind of thing? Where's the other color? And these have exactly everything you want in a podporacha. And it doesn't take but a moment, even through the plastic case, to be able to see the really very nice blend, look at that, of the two colors. 3 matching stones. No heat, all natural, and custom cut. I didn't cut them, but I gave the specifics as to how I wanted them cut, the indexing and the angles, so that they wouldn't go beneath the minimum angles to create a window, and etc. So I was thrilled that I came out with, because as rough, it's really difficult to tell what you're going to come out with. So the colors did a great job. They really did a great job. Now, on these 3 with a weight of 72 points and the real deal there, it was hard not to price them up to where they should be. Instead, yeah. So Charlie Brown got a rock, and I think his rock was coal. You know, I wish mine would have been something like, you know, podporacha or whatever, but instead, you're going to get the benefit for your Halloween treats by me making this opportunity at only $68. $68. So, break that down, 3 stones, $68, roughly $22.50 a stone or so. Wow, $23 a stone. That is a bargain. That is inexpensive enough that you could put a paparacha in someone else's stocking. Maybe a neat treat. Because remember, gemstones make great gifts. And I've always said one of the best things that you can bring, ladies, to a baby shower is, that's the thing you have before the baby's born, right? Baby shower, yeah. Is most, of course, women know when they're going to have the baby, or they're going to have the procedure, or they might know the month, or you have it ready for, if it's like in between, you're not sure what month they're born in. But no better gift can be given than a birthstone of that child. So if they're going to be born in February, give them an amethyst. And you know how inexpensive I can sell an amethyst to you for. They're going to think that something you bought or got free or almost free in a bag of gemstones, maybe free, like I give away in the trivia gift, they're going to think it's a $100 gift when you have dollars in it. And it's something that that child and that mother will remember, and that child will, you know, it becomes an heirloom piece. It becomes an heirloom piece. Something that may not have cost unless it's the month of April for diamond a lot, but then I have amazing deals on diamonds as well. I haven't even shown any diamond parcels lately. No one's commented about them. I have them. I have diamonds. But you know me, it's got to be earth mined, and you know, anyway, another story there. Give birthstones for baby shower presents. It's a timeless gift, and no one else ever thinks about doing that or has the wherewithal to really to go and get them as inexpensively as all of you. Item number 121, 6624. If I read that right. Look at this. So last week I showed you rounds, and I showed you, what else did I show you? I showed you, what did I shape in the umbus? Did I show you pear shapes? No, ovals. Rounds and ovals. Look at this. Look at this. And I did that. You know how many times I had to take the lid off to get this one right? We won't even talk about that. 11 stones, 3.20 carat. I could have broken these up into individual sales and stuff and whatnot, but that would take so long, and I just hope someone has the money or whatever to just get the whole parcel, because that's where the best value is. If I break out, look at that paparacha. If I break out just that stone out of the whole parcel, it would cost, I would sell it for no less than probably what the entire parcel is going to cost, in that range. And look at that color. That is, of course, a more intense color, but absolutely has both. And then next to it, the second, so you have the two most expensive colors in sapphire right there. Look at that purple. All of these, no heat. 3 natural yellows, a natural green yellow. Look at that. They are a Ceylon color blue coming from the umba, and then look at the range of purple blue capped off by the large one. 3.20 carat in 11 stones. So that means they averaging 30 points or so. Wow. Wow. And again, all no heat, completely natural. And every single one of these, I promise you, was cut from rough that I had. And that's why they're also so beautifully cut. I just have to say that. Okay. Price on this opportunity. Yeah, doesn't make a lot of sense. But again, the idea is, you guys, I don't want to show them again. Buy them the first time, and just take advantage of me. Go ahead. So if I make these, let's just keep simple numbers at only real simple price. Wow, $128. That's $40 a carat. Only $28, only $40 a carat. So those two, the purple and the paparacha, I mean, any way you divide that up, it doesn't take much to be able to see the value in that. 11 stones, 128. Okay, do it that way. That sounds like a really, $11 a stone on average or so. Maybe 12, it was $132, $12 a stone. Yeah, I know my multiplication table. Parochial school. They used to drive into us the multiplication times tables, and we have races up on the board. And I still remember the girl. I always would be her and I, and her name was Linda. Never forget. Anyway, I beat her most of the time. Drove her nuts. No, I think I beat her every time. That's what really drove her nuts. Anyway, I know my times tables. I have to use some of my brain to practice something. That's why chemistry and all is still good for me to run it through my brain. Now, the fun is not even begun. Item number 121, 6824. Let me show you something you also will not see, even no matter where the sapphires come from. Cabochon sapphires. Look at those. Look at those. And you have the very rare colorless sapphires there, which of course Al2O3, aluminum oxide in its purest form, without any of the allochromatic impurities that give sapphire its other colors. Corundum is clear white, but it almost always has coloring agents. That's why actually clear white sapphire is quite rare. These are all facet grade. They could have been faceted, but due to me telling them I did not want stones to be cut with a window, they cabbed these because it would have made the diameter smaller, much smaller, to be able to cut them to the correct angles. Basically, what they call diamond cut. And so they did cabs. Aren't those gorgeous? And I was looking at these. Okay, so those two are close enough for a pair. Those two look like a pair. Those two are close enough for a pair. And let's see. 1, 2, yeah, either that one with that one or those two. There's at least 3 pairs in there. And that's also unique because imagine those. I love using cabochons for eyes in animal jewelry. I love critter jewelry. That's like, I could say this, Zenove, who Raven product coordinator for, he loves whimsical jewelry. He loves jewelry with different animals. And so, and he'll use things like cabochons for the eyes. And he shows me his whimsical stuff because he knows I like those kind of items as well. This cabochon, for all of them, only $58. I know, I just got from Latif. I was waiting for it though. Yeah, you know, you're right, Latif. Why? That is like $20 a carat. I don't even want to do the math on that. Yeah, like $21 a carat or something like that. That's just, yeah. And it's one of those, okay, well, go try to find some others. And I can tell you this, they do not cut cabochons in sapphires for shows, unless they're the common blue ones or treated. Let's keep rocking and rolling here. Item number 121, 6724. I have so much to get through. Here, again, you saw the little shards and the little pieces of scrap. There was a bag of them from the cutting of, that you missed out on most of them because I sold it in the live show, but I still had a few left over. Look at these. This is no heat. And that makes a difference because, yes, they do heat treat apatite, but not these. These again were mined in the 80s. I had them as pieces of rough for a long time. I had a lot of parcels, a lot of material this cut. I've sold a lot of it, but I saved a few pieces. And look at this, perfectly matched for color. The perfect square cushions, which you know I like, and then of course the rectangular cushion, which I like as well. Almost makes a little cutesy face there. But this is when, if you don't know even what to do with gems like that, it doesn't matter. They look so good in a collection. And now when I think about over the period of time that I've had these things, I mean, you know, I'm not supposed to talk about, you know, anything as an investment, and I'm not. I'm just talking about what it's worth now versus what it was worth then, and what a difference it is. Luckily for all of you, I do not go by the prices that currently they're asking for, especially like at the other network I referred to. I went through all their gems, and actually every single one. I got curious and I got to looking, and it as much as like, well, I should be charging 3 times what I'm asking for this. Then I didn't do it. It didn't matter. I didn't let it influence me, but it did let me know just how much I appreciate all of you recognizing that the value that I've been offering, and simple as that. But there's still some stuff that comes back that I can't believe that you haven't gotten to. But we'll get to some of that here in a minute if we have time. Price on these, this is why. $28. $28. Yeah. And you can tell they're custom cut. Custom cut. You will not find, and you have to remember how important cutting is to a gemstone. It can make or break a beautiful gem if it's cut incorrectly or poorly. It either won't sell or has to be recut, adding more money and additional loss of value to weight loss. Look at those stones. For $28, I know, Latif, it's painful. Okay, Mr. Anthony, and those of you missed out last week, item 121-7324. Take a look. I went ahead and, garnets, that's my thing. Take a look at this. I put together another grossular hessonite parcel. And so let me actually take these out since they're a little bigger and easier, and you got to see them in their pretty stage. And so let me, all right, take a look at the color to these, and they're actually a lovely mint green, and my white tray is white-ish. So, but they have a mint green color tone to them, and look at the cutting. Look at how brilliant these are. And that is what you get from me. I didn't cut them, but I instructed how I wanted them to be cut, and if I could get that, look at that. Look at the brilliance in that. Grossular garnet, and here's the other really neat thing. They fluoresce beautifully. They fluoresce a pinkish orange kind of color tone, and that adds, to me, of course, a lot of cool factor to it. Look at the cutting on that, beautiful. And then this looks like a what would be a orange yellow diamond. It is such a brilliant stone, and from the rough to get it to finish this large, it had to be a pretty large piece of rough that was started with it. Look at that. So a set of three. Of course, I've actually seen people call these mint ones saburite. No, doesn't cut it. But beautiful, beautiful, beautiful imperial hessonite. Of course, you know why they give that name imperial, because of the imperial topaz look, and then the wonderful fluorescent garnets as well. These garnets are, have a high refractive index, as most garnets do, but the cutting adds an extra real big oomph to them, and I just love that look. Price on all three, especially if you missed out, these are a nice large set of three. So you have a 2 carat in the 2 stones. Yeah, and it came out to exactly 200. That was kind of neat. In the 2 mint greenish colored ones, and then on the imperial 0.88. And so you can see why, because when I was like estimating the weights in my mind, I thought, wow, this only weighs a carat or 0.88. It seemed like it would weigh a lot more. because I'm thinking of specific gravity of other stones. And remember the word hessonite, meaning inferior. Well, one of them, of course, is the lower, compared to other garnets, the lower specific gravity, which is the density, basically. And that made sense, and that's why they weighed. And also, though, when you cut them, look at that. When you cut them at angles like they're supposed to be cut, instead of these really deep stones that you see cut all the time, where they're cut for weight, because that's how stones are bought. So I'm just going to put those back in there like that, and even like that, they look beautiful. They look beautiful. All right. So price on these? Let me see. How about this? How about this? 2.88 carat, and only $86. Wow, $86. That there has to be a reason I did a weird number like that. Is that like $30? See, 2.88. Yeah, something like $30 a carat. My goodness. My goodness. My goodness. Look at that. See, there you go. That's why I like it, just showing them in the tube sometimes. You can see them straight on. Look at the brilliance to those stones. That yellow-orange ones, I mean, it looks like a yellow-orange diamond. I've seen that brilliant. Okay, what a deal. All right, I'm going to tuck some items away, and I'll be right back. This can be many things. It can be a cutting rough. It can be a paperweight. Or it can be just plain dang beautiful to look at, to admire, to have on the end table. Opal, okay? This is the last day. Of course, remember, this is Halloween, so to me it's the 31st. It's still the opal month. Opal is the birthstone for, of course, October. It is, I'm wearing that black jade and, the black and the opal ring that Asif gave to me. And he's actually wearing an opal ring that I had cut the opal and put in the ring for him. So we both just showed up with those. So power.
Like a married couple.
I could, and I have been. I could be married to worse than you, Asif, and I have been. Not number one. No, I love the mother of my son, but number two was there. So anyway, this boulder opal, of course, is the classic look that boulder opal does, and this is not any kind of Shawn cheapy spray polish. That is the natural face of opal when you have these guys that are really good at splitting them, because opal will form in these tiny little seams in the ironstone, and not always. Sometimes it just fills in with more ironstone, but you can see here, in just like gold, in a crevice, which, by the way, I went to that spot. I have pictures. I'll send them to Asif to upload for you, that I talked about along Highway 20, that is right at the base of the big Sawney Mountain, which had gold mines in it. And I have some really neat quartz and a gold story to tell you. All right, so back to this. You can see what they can do when they see that seam. There would have been, see this over here? There would have been ironstone on top of it, and they are masters at their craft of splitting these. And sometimes you get what they call a split, where you get opal on both sides, or maybe just one side. Look at the red back in there. Look at that red. And so how they're valued on boulder opals is the less amount of ironstone that comes through the surface of the opal, the more valuable. So this one, by way of opal, has very little other outside, other than silica, that's coming through on the face. So that is a good valuation you have. This also is not a unidirectional play of color. So it is omnidirectional. In other words, any different direction you turn it, you're going to get play of color. And a lot of times that isn't always the case either. So as you look at this in the different ways, it really shows fire up through all of the silica present in these two bands, including the elusive red that you can see at particular angles right up there. It's an incredible piece, and if for nothing else, wow, you don't even have to cut stones to enjoy looking at that, because you can turn it any different way, and it really shows up beautiful. So I have a, I showed it before, so I'm going to give you a discounted opportunity on this, but this is it, $88 on that, and that gets the final price because if you any cutter could cut that stone very simply out of there and have something worth multiples of that price. So a real jewel there we have. Now, let's look at item 121, 6124. 121, 6124. Take a look here. Here is a parcel of rutilated quartz and tourmalated quartz. So you can see the black tourmaline. Let me just take those out so you can get an idea. Look at that. Look how beautiful. Sometimes less is more. And I love the clean lines to that. Faceted there. Another beautiful, beautiful colors to the rutile in that. And then tourmaline in this cabochon. And the tourmaline also has some iris, some beautiful rainbow reflections in it. And I think there's another crystal of something else in there I had seen. So anyway, here we go. 4 stones, opportunity on all 4, only $38. Only $38, let's see. You know what, let's do this. $28. $28. And that way, I know I won't be having to feature that again. That's a deal. That's a deal. So it's $38. Okay. So much to do here. Okay, let's look at item number 121, 6424. 121, 6424. This is something you will not see me feature too often. And this is, take a look. Wow. Wow. All right. So this poor Konichi Sugi in 1944 discovered this material on a Japanese island, but it was nothing like what you're seeing now. Of course, what you first are seeing is the most mispronounced name in the precious gem industry, because it's been for decades pronounced as sugilite, and even Mindat has a paragraph on the correct name. I sometimes attribute it to myself because I've been drumming on this for years, and then all of a sudden it pops up in Mindat about how to correctly pronounce sugilite. It is with a hard G, as in geese. That is the word they use, geese. So sugilite, look at that. And it is a beautiful, from the Kalahari manganese fields, a beautiful purple color tone and natural color, fantastic polish on it. And I want to know why it looked blue. Why did that look blue? It is as purple as it can get. Everyone's going to have to trust me on this one. That is purple. But it sure doesn't look it there. Why? Yeah, you guys can always fix this for me. Let me take this light away. I see it. There's the elusive and valuable color that it's known for. Okay, so sometimes my light does more harm than good. Let me show you this again. Look, there we go. It looked like lapis. You guys were never going to believe a word I said. So, I know. I could just feel you over there, Latif, saying, Shawn, what? Or you got this one wrong, dude. It's a collector cabinet. The Wessel's mine. It was really the only place in the world that really, for the most part, that sugilite is comes from. And it's got a kind of a unique chemical formula as well: potassium, sodium, iron. And here's the key. And here's the difference that how you would have told if it was going to be a sugilite or lapis. Well, besides fluorescence, there's several giveaways. Here's another one right here. Remember, the chemical formula of this is Fe2+, so that, which is a very magnetic valence of iron. Let's flip it over. Look at that. That's called a pickup response. When the entire gem is picked up, which means a very magnetic response, and tells you everything you need to know that you have a genuine sugilite. The only thing that would make this more valuable is if it was what they call gel color. In other words, if it was translucent, that would really add a lot of value to it. If you have, you can have other minerals associated with it. Richterite is one of them, but this is just a really nice cabochon. $28. $28. Price of sugilite has gone through the roof in the gem world. It is just one of those things that you can have a big piece of sugilite, and I knew a guy with a lot of it, and the pieces he was selling by the pound, and it would be it was like $400 a pound. But by the time you cut away the manganese oxides, the other material, what you were left with by way of actual cuttable material was very limited. It was, but that was many years ago. That was the market. That was the market. So, yeah, that's a great deal if you do not have a sugilite. Let's look at item 121.6924. 121.6924. And look at this. Look at this. Yep. I decided to part with another one from that huge amount I bought years ago. This is, and of course the ones you're seeing now have been some of my favorites that I did keep for one reason or another. This, even if they don't have always purple or blue, which are the most valuable colors in fire agate. Also, Slaughter Mountain, Arizona is by far the much better resource for quality than the Mexican material. The Mexican material has a lot more yellows and orange and brown reflections. If you look at this, this is all from iron oxides, limonite for the most part, not only the body tone color, but what creates the color. If you look at each one of these little kind of botryoidal formation, and as you turn it, you will actually end up noticing that every single one has some form of iridescence, and you may have to turn it at a real oblique angle. Look at that, the purple and blue coming through there, or an obtuse angle, but it has fire, and look at those in those orbicular kind of ways, which is desirable. Also, for the fact that it has a flat top that's doing all that, which is pretty neat. This was just a really unusual patterned one, and then you can see. Look at the back. Wow, that's kind of beautiful there. That would probably be worth polishing the back of this one as well. So, anyway. That material has gotten so expensive as well, but I marked it down to make it affordable for you guys so that everyone can get in on one if you do not have one or want to add to your collection. These were all mined roughly in the 70s, so this again going back to a very good time period for the quality of the material produced. There's a bigger, longer story to them I'll tell another day, but right now I'll just tell you the price. $36, only $36 on that jewel, and that is, when you look at the price per carat, a super duper value compared to the other market values of that kind of material. Let me, so much dude. Let's look at item 121, 7924. Yep, so the Gem Collector Show, we've shown a lot of rocks and minerals over the time, and you know, I know you don't know exactly what I have stashed in my inventory. I don't always know exactly what I have stashed. And but we haven't done a lot of gemstones overall, and we need to. We need to feature more gemstones, and that's what I'm giving to you today, along with others. Wait till you see some other minerals, though, I have mixed in. Look at this. Look at this, and, whoops, sorry. What did I do? Where's that coming from? Oh, sorry about that. All right, here is a purplish red Tanzanian spinel, and I did not have this one cut from off. I didn't end up with any spinel rough. I wish I did, but it's a clean stone, and a really unique kind of color tone. It's not red, it's not purple, depending on what light. But what it is a really good deal. Let's see, 2.56 carat. How about this? I'm going to make that one less than what I even was going to make it. But let's do this, $48. Only $48, which is like less than $20 a carat. Wow. Excellent value. And then also, if you're a cutter, like where's Charles in Oregon, and Anthony, and others, then you can even recut it and practice cutting on spinel if you want, because that could, you have a thicker girdle, yeah, that would just lend itself. It has an unusual cut to the pavilion. You see the sides are almost straight across, which for an oval stone shouldn't be like that. So anyway, it's always one of those that you can learn from cutting. That's what I like. That's how I did it. That's how I figured it out over the years. And well, honestly, it's one of the top cutters that I've ever known, and yeah, known some good ones. So that, let me change the pricing here because I had it higher, but I just made it less. Let me show you from my friend's mine. Item 121, 7224. 121, 7224. The Bela Vista mine, meaning beautiful view in Portuguese, but about the same way you would spell it in Spanish. Look at this. Look at this. I've shown some crystals lately. I've been turning loose of a little bit of this material that I tumbled. Yes, sir. That number on this is 121, 7924. And the neat thing, okay, let me show it to you this way first, is I actually created, you can't tell in this display, but a range of the colors of imperial topaz. So this, of course, the pinks and the purple pinks, most valuable. All these natural, no heat. Then you go into the other real expensive color with the sherry color tones. Then this also very imperial color with the orange and sherry. Then you go to this, which is pretty much a golden yellow with very little other sherry, still in the imperial color range. That's acceptable. Now, anybody and everybody is going to include this, and that is actually a facetable stone, as is this, as is that one, and that one. Look at the facet areas. There's a totally clean stone there, totally clean there, and that doesn't matter if there's an inclusion or two, but I think you could cut a nice size relative to the color stone out of that one as well. That I call either golden topaz or just yellow topaz, but that is me. Anybody else would really, look at that, call that imperial. And, you know, okay, I'll maybe give them that. But you can see the difference in this collection of them. Look at that jewel. That is one I should probably cut. So, as a collection, if you put these in a display, ranged in the colors like I did, it gives you an entire lesson and the range of topaz, and where I consider the word imperial should fall off, even though that's just my opinion and not the majority of everybody else selling this material. So this pushes it right there. It's not the saturated color, and it doesn't have any of the sherry or the pinks in it. But nevertheless, a faceted stone of this color in topaz, natural color, is very expensive in a price per carat situation. Overall, it doesn't make it a cheap or inexpensive stone still. The price just starts there and goes up as we go in this order right there, starting with the pink and going down. Now, in general, we should probably all have a set like this, or keep a set around for lesson time. But lesson time doesn't occur often enough, because all and everybody could learn something if you have the right items to teach from. And there's no better item to teach from than the physical item itself. You can look at a picture in a book or a color graph all day long, but until the human eye touches, sees, feels, and registers those individual colors at the different angles in a three-dimensional situation, a picture is just that. A different lighting changes the color. Different way you turn a stone changes the color. You have to have them in your hand to make the best calls and to understand the range of colors. When you have them in person is a way greater lesson than any type of one-dimensional picture on a page. So this set is only incredibly enough a fraction of what the stones they would cut would be. It's only $57. Only $57, and it's the only one I have like that. So it's not going to ever be less. So even if it doesn't sell and I show it again, it's not going to be less. It can't be. The price is just already such a good value. Okay, now let me show you item 121.6224. 121.6224. If I said I had a pleonast for sale, yep, if I had a pleonast for sale, what would I be selling? Well, it wouldn't be gonite. Gonite, a lot of people would say what this is, and don't pull up the info yet on this, Mr. Asif, yet. I'm going to show everybody what a pleonast is first. This is a pleonast. It is, well, I could tell you it's a big black diamond. I could tell you it's a big black piece of onyx. I could tell you it is faceted goethite. Good luck with that one. Look at this. From the sharp and from the weight and the sharp facets, you know, it's a harder stone. It's a dense stone. And pleonast is the word from a mineral mined in Kanchanaburi, Thailand, at the Bo Ploy mine, which I have been to. I have been, well, on a motor scooter, I had been by it. It is the largest area of production for this particular mineral. I actually bought this stone in 1992 out in Kanchanaburi, and if you want to know, Kanchanaburi is the city where the bridge over the River Kwai technically is. In the movie, big wooden bridge, no such thing. I walked across the bridge over the River Kwai, and I love the movie for one thing, and it was after it had been blown up once, twice. So the third concrete version only had a couple bullet holes, strafe marks in it from left over from World War II. But it, of course, is famous for the Burma Railway, which took all kinds of Allied prisoners to build and cost many of them their lives. So in going to Kanchanaburi, I walked across the bridge over the River Kwai, and it was a surreal moment, because I looked down and there was a mahout washing his elephant. It was like going back in time. It was really amazing. Then, of course, there's people washing their clothes. And then, you know, there was nice motels and modern cars. And it was just two ways of life just clashing. Anyway, the huge world-famous sapphire mine is outside of Opoi, and the other thing that they mine for the majority of, and you can find pleonast in carvings, these feet long. You know pleonast most likely as black spinel. Black spinel. Yep. Sorry to that it couldn't be anything more exciting, but the other word you might hear is ghanite. G-A-H-N-I-T-E, but that is actually a zinc aluminum oxide, whereas spinel is a magnesium iron aluminum oxide. So, you know, that's why it's similar to Al2O3, which is corundum, but not exactly. But the two are often found together. I've never heard we call pleonast. There. So I'm fessing up. That was news to me. For some reason, why I had never heard it called that before is I don't know. But that is how straight up honest. I know a lot of stuff, but that one is one I did not know, and I am not embarrassed to admit that. But what a weird word that is, huh? It was to me, especially if you'd never had heard of it before. I have a bargain on it, though, because this material, if you go and look it up, it's still not inexpensive completely. I mean, it's not like agate or jasper. So add a new mineral, because you could actually add a new mineral by something this large. Look how large this is in my hand. Isn't that neat? Wouldn't that make a neat addition to your collection? And you know what? I had it at a bargain, but I'm going to make it even less than that. I had it only, how many carats is that? 35 carats. So I had it at $1.35 a carat at $48. Let's do this. Let's just make it a buck a carat. It's got to be worth $35. $35. And it's cool just to be able to say you have something, or hand it to your friends and stump them. See if anyone can get them, because I can guarantee you most people are first going to say black onyx. But if you actually feel the weight, you can tell it has a much heavier specific gravity as it would than black onyx. And so that's just a brain teaser for those of us that want to challenge our fellow rockhounds. Item 121, 7724. Let's look at this. What do we have? What do we have? We have, oh, this one everybody likes. And I'm telling you what. Okay. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous piece for what it is. And it is untreated. And by untreated, I mean some of this material is stabilized, etc. Look at that. And there's very little malachite. So if you notice, a lot of times people that just will list something as chrysocolla, and more than half of it will be covered or be malachite. And the one I sold the other week had malachite involved, but it had those beautiful little malachite radial crystals that were polished. This is Democratic Republic of the Congo, and almost all chrysocolla. So the blue is genuine chrysocolla, the real deal. And that's what you want to see. Now remember, when it's real and genuine, you can end up with some, it's almost like crazing, just like that other piece it had, but that is why they would treat a lot of this material. I have had this cab for so long that, let me just see if I can find any. I thought I saw one little hairline crazing in it, but that's just natural to the material. I don't even see that now. So that is a really beautiful quality, and it's only $24. Chrysocolla is not inexpensive. It is one of those that kind of will really surprise you when it's of good quality, when it is natural and not treated, and when there is a good portion of that strong blue, that beautiful blue color. Speaking of beautiful blue, let me show you a real collector's item. Item 1198724. Take a look at this. That is blue. I'm going to have to darken that down a little. Look at that. That is stunning. And it's called what they call the wet look, which is very desirable in hemimorphite. In other words, this hasn't been sprayed with any of my cheesy stuff I use. I didn't just put water on it. This is natural. That shiny, wet look to it, which is, isn't that cool? Look at that. Look at the hemimorphite from the side. Normally we see the Mexican hemimorphite that's the clear and whitish colors. This is the good stuff. The real, by way of cabochones. Now that beautiful clear crystalline hemimorphite, that stuff's beautiful, but you can't make jewelry out of it. This is the material that they can, not a piece like this, because it's a prettier as a mineral specimen than it would be as a cut stone. But what they'll do, they'll cut cabs out of this, and you can imagine, just like kind of turquoise, how beautiful with the kind of circular patterns it would make. Look at this as a specimen though. Now, this has something else in it. And did I not? The green. And what could that be? I am going to leave that to all of you to figure it out, or whoever is lucky enough to get this piece. Let me check my notes here for a moment. Here it actually comes with a label, so that's kind of nice, hemimorphite. Now, one other thing, if you see the crystalline hemimorphite like I have sold and shown from Mexico before, and it is a bright blue color, and they are crystals, and if it says it's from the Ajuela mine in Mexico, do not buy it. Those crystals, they're dyed. They're all dyed, and that is something to watch for when it comes to hemimorphite. This color is completely natural, including the formation, and you don't have to worry about it. The other I'm talking about is the hemimorphite. It will be in those, acicular, flattened, clear type of crystal formations, and that absorb a dye that's difficult actually to determine. But it's just beware. There's no such thing as blue hemimorphite coming out of Mexico. All right, as crystals or from the Ajuela mine. Look at that. This is just striking, double-sided, really, multi views. And the price I had on this is ridiculous opportunity. So take advantage of it, because it's the only one I have like that. Now, hemimorphite is a zinc silicate with water. So it is pretty simple. Just zinc and silicon and oxygen and a hydroxide molecule with water. Orthorhombic crystal system. Price on this though, I have an exceptional opportunity if someone wants that for only $58. Only $58. And that is just a amazing opportunity for that kind of money on that. So take advantage of it. Also, let me show you another one that I think you must have had your eyes closed, because let's look at item 119-9524. 119-9524. And, you know, I don't like to make fun of anybody, even to tell you that your eyes were closed, but maybe just once you blinked when this came up for sale. Look at this. This is, it's green. It is not Shoral. These are green tourmaline crystals, and look at and they're beautiful greens. And look at that, there's some blues right there. So some bicolors. Look at this. This is a really attractive bunch of tourmaline compared to what we so often see in Shoral or dravite, the black and the brownish color tones. Look at all these. Very gemmy, and then look at the other side. That's kind of cool in itself. You see what it is? It's mica, but a very light colored mica. It's muscovite mica, and instead of their quartz being involved, which most of the times there is, look at these crystals embedded, like sandwiched in between the mica, like they're being squeezed out. That's kind of really cool, actually. Why would I even sell this? I'm not sure. I guess it's just time to part with it. Look at that. And this is a cluster of little tiny tourmaline crystals. I looked at it with magnification, and it was really cool to see. Anyway, another wonderful opportunity, and I'm going to make that one only $48. $48. What a really great look on that. Now, my goodness, item 121-9224. Now, we have been talking about this for a couple different weekends, and I did some more research. Miss Penny, I think you were the lucky one to grab that ametrine that was terminated, that had a termination, a crystal termination, and that, I was doing some more research, is extremely unique and rare and worth a lot more. So very wise of you to get that piece of ametrine rough, and that's why I hung on to it so long. So this could go with it if you want. Look at this. Here is a genuine ametrine, and I say genuine because watch out, the market is full of the fake stuff. Yep, both sides. Yep. They do their thing. Pardon?
Is that the right number?
Yep. That's the right stone. You know, see that 10 carats? It is exactly 10 carats. I weighed it 3 times. I thought, wow, that is unique. Concave cut. It takes a special grinding tool, fastening tool. It can attach to my fastening machine, but it takes a special one to cut these facets concave. They also came out around the millennial time and called it millennial cut for a while or something like that. But anyway, concave cut is the more appropriate name. This, you can see the triangular, or what they call the radiation symbol sign, to the ametrine actually. Look at that. You can see that the triangular shape to the citrine, which is neat to be able to have that in a stone, because normally they try to cut it where it's 50-50, half yellow, half purple, but I rather prefer triangles in mine. It just gives it that original natural look. That's looking at it from behind, from the top. It mixes all those colors up, but you, look at that. You can still see that very well-defined triangular shape. Now, a lot of ametrine Coming from Brazil. That's, yeah, as long as it looks like ametrine, okay, there is a deposit in Brazil. But the Anahe mine in Bolivia is the real deal, and this is the real deal. This stone I've had for a long, well, probably 20 years or so. Price on this one, this also is expensive material. So I'm offering this for only $68. Only $68. That is less than $7 a carat. Try to find that somewhere else at that kind of price, and yeah, you'll be shocked. Okay, so let me switch over to something else for a moment. I need to try to get in everything, and that was a lot of items to get to. Let's go ahead and look at item number 121-7424. 121-7424, and look at this. Here is a malachite. It's sterling silver, freshwater pearls, and also, by the way, if you didn't notice, that ametrine was calibrated cut, so it would fit any standard mounting. Now, these are actually 14 karat gold beads. This, look at that, double-sided genuine malachite. And then you have this sterling silver adjustable part. So you can make it anywhere from 16 to 18.5 inches. Freshwater pearls, gold beads, double-sided pendant, which is cool. Malachite beads also in between. And all of that for only $68. Only $68. That's a lot of look for not a lot of money. Now, let me show you item number 121-7524. And I have something amazing for you. Let's start off by showing you a bracelet. Okay, look at this. Yes, it is lapis. Lapis bracelet, sterling silver, toggle clasp. The bracelet is about 8.5 inches. There's the back of it. Now, a lot of silver. Remember, silver has been tracking gold on its way up, up, up. So so all the silver that people like Latif been hanging on to is worth a lot more than it has been recently, and it seems to not be stopping. All right, that is one of the items. Let me tell you the price. The price. Well, hold on. Next, you get this as part of it as well. Look at the size of this and the weight. Nice, solid piece. Beautiful pendant with, you can see the pyrite, very little calcite, and then also a ring. Look at this ring. You can see, of course, for the ring they used a better quality lapis, and nice, thick, sturdy ring. So you get the ring, the bracelet, and the pendant. Ready? All three pieces for the price of only $178. $178. I've seen just the pendant be sold for that much. I've seen the ring be for $75, $80. The bracelet, hundreds of dollars. If you count the number of stones themselves, so 3, 6, 7, 8 stones total. Wow. So you're looking at a price of $22 a stone, silver included, something like that. In other words, any way you figure it out. I mean, those lapises would be worth that much alone. You come out at a incredible value. Let me show you item 121-8924. 121-8924. Keeping it mixed up here and moving along. Take a look at this. This is a double-sided crystal black opal, and this is something that you don't see too often, and if you do, It's a lot of money. This is one I've had for a long time because it was so special and unique. So what's unique is it's got this really sharp edge. Okay, so if you're a cutter, you could put a little bevel on that edge, but it made it kind of neat leaving it there. So it is polished on every side, including the very sides, and on either side. Let me show you some of the color that's in this. Now, as opposed to that contraloose piece where you needed fire from, against the light, this piece, if you light it from behind, it actually loses its color, as you can see. So this one is not like a contraloose, it is just the opposite. Classic opal, getting its fire and color from above. And look at all that. Look at all that. So the cutter kept the material in the ends because, let me try, there is fire down here in the ends. See that? There it is, right there. The play of color right there going across there. And all the way down to the end. Look at the reds. Look at the reds in this too. And this is in even reduced lighting. Look at those colors. And then let me add another little wavelength of light to it. Look at that. This is actually a very unique piece of opal. And so I left it like it was. I really admired. I always think, what did the cutter, why did he do what he did, why he left it like he did? And usually there's a reasonable answer. And I left it that way because I like the really sharp, clean edges to this. And someone else can do whatever they want, but that is a beautiful specimen of Lightning Ridge black crystal. So you can see the black, dark nature of it and the clarity then, the crystal clarity. It's not an opaque or it's a transparent dark base opal. So that's how it gets the crystal definition. And the price on this, only $78. Only $78 on that. Let me show you. Item number 1217624. Since we're speaking about opals, how about, here's a ring. Here is an opal ring with sapphires, sterling silver. It's an estate piece, of course. But it's amazing that all the opals, none are chipped. It couldn't have been worn much. It doesn't survive that long. So, it's a September and October birthstone ring, if you want to look at it that way as well. And classic Cooper Pedy opal, but look at the fire. There is color in every one of those opals, even reds and oranges. So you're going to love this, or somebody, because again, what a neat beginner's ring, so to speak, if you have someone born in October or just someone young that you want to give a ring to that they learn from. Because guess what? That ring, $21. I kid you not. $21. Kind of a deal. Now, oh, let's keep going. 121, 8124. Look at this. I collect and always have silver boxes. I have sold some over the years, but I found another one. And of course, you can always polish these up more than I have with just a silver cloth. Here it is, and you can always clean these also. This one looks fine, but with a eraser, an eraser to a pencil. If you ever get some stuff in there you want cleaned off, works fine. You can see that 925. This has a really nice tight lid to it, and you just carry it in your pocket. You can put anything from money or anything you might want, a pill box if you want to call it as well. You can see the size relative to my hands. You can have it engraved. Just a nice, unusual box. And again, comparatively, especially with the way silver is priced these days, price on that is only $38. Only $38. And what a neat piece that makes. Let me show you another neat piece. Ooh. What did I do there? Item let's see, poison pill pendant and ring. Okay, 121, 80, 24. 121, 80, 24. Let me see what that is, brings us. And, oh, take a look. What do we have? Speaking about a pill ring, we have a poison pill, what they call poison pill ring. That's the name they give it. That's not the name I gave it. So, you know, in desperate times when all else is bad, you keep your heart medicine in there. This ring, I don't think was ever worn or ever used. You can have it engraved as well. You can actually put pictures in there. I think that's the original idea, but they call them poison pill rings. Now, on this one, okay, but along with that ring, you get something else as well. A poison pill ring, and how about this? A poison pill pendant. Yeah, what? Yep, look at this purse. You have genuine marcasites, genuine garnets, and then look at, it opens up, and you can put whatever you want in there. Put your mad money in there, $100 bill or something. But you can see a chain runs right through there. It's quite heavy. You saw that, hear that strong snap. Genuine marcasites, genuine garnets. You get both of those for $38. Both for $38. Those are cool. Now, I know, isn't that a good deal? Item 121, 8424. 121, 8424. In Asia, about anything they carve has a meaning to it, including, this should go well in Georgia, peanuts. Yep. Here are opal peanuts, but the meaning of peanuts. So, a homophone is like the word for bat, fu. Fu also means money. Like bat means different things to us, right? You swing a bat at a ball or a bat that flies in a cave. Same thing in Chinese. So the word fu is the same for money as it is for bat, and that's why you see a bat placed in all these little carvings, even secretly almost where you don't notice them, in so many carvings for that reason. Well, peanuts have their own homophone as well, and it is what you wish people at New Year's. Some of the sayings at New Year's sounds like the same word as peanut does in Chinese, which I do not know that word. But in general, a peanut represents prosperity, longevity, and family unity. And that's why you'll see items carved in the form of peanuts. Now you see some color and fire in this one. And if you collect unusual carvings, this is certainly one to get or have or give to someone if you know them as a peanut farmer. I mean, what a piece that would be. I like the meanings behind it as well. So prosperity, longevity, and family unity, that you can have. All three of those things in your life you can have for only $16. $16. Yep. So, well, that is something I wish we could all get for $16. All three of those things. Yep. Indeed. Okay, now, let's see. Item 121, 90, 24. 121, 90, 24. Next, we have, look at this. Look at this. This is not your everyday pendant. Again, it can be polished up more. It is cool. I called it a perfume bottle, which I guess that's what it is, but some of other people, they do make them. I have seen these little tiny funnels that you can fill this up with your favorite coffee, tea, or milk, right? It actually holds quite a bit, or you can put perfume in it if you wish. You can engrave it. It's quite heavy, so this will hold up well, and It can just go in your pocket or be hung as a pendant, and has a very excellent thread that ends exactly where it should to keep everything in line. 19 grams, so that weighs a bunch. Only $38 on that. $38 on that. And again, when you figure the weight against the actual intrinsic value of the silver against what people normally charge in a premium. Remember, with gold at the price it is, if there's $100 labor on an item that's $500 in gold, that's not a lot of labor. But on a silver item, the labor is often more than the cost of the materials, the silver. So that's why you see silver, and if it's priced at only 2 times or 3 times the actual value of the metal itself, jump on it. It's going to be a really good deal. So like that, like the way I have priced that one. Now let's look at this. Oh, item 121, 8724. Let me show you. Do not get these often at all. Wire wrapped. Look at this. Look at that. Dominican Larimar. Only place in the world that blue pectolite is found. And the mine has been closed since 2023 for unknown reasons. It was rediscovered in 1974 after the Franciscan named Larimar after his daughter, that's name was Larissa, and Mar means sea. The deposit was a lot of holes dug into the ground. Now that they are even going underground in a tunnel, but nothing is being mined anymore. Price on this entire piece with the wire wrapping is only $44. Only $44 on that. And that is, again, something that is found nowhere else in the world but the Dominican Republic, which is on the other half of the island of Hispaniola. The other half, of course, is Haiti. So that, yeah, who knows what reasons why the mine isn't working right now, but that just gives you a better opportunity to get in on the pricing of these now, because the real price is no telling how much. Item 121, 8674. Now, the Larimar family, let's see, 121, 8624, yeah. It belongs to the wollastonite family. Pectolite does. Belongs to the wollastonite family. And it is a sodium calcium silicate, hardness of 5. And take a look. Here's a chance to get in on a bigger one. Look at this. Again, another wire wrap one, another estate piece. And if it wasn't a estate piece, there's no way I could be selling it for the price of only $98 on this. $98. The stone worth well beyond that, and just an excellent, excellent value if someone wants something, a really unique and rare gem anymore, and really undervalued, I think. That is a unique stone found in a unique place and found nowhere else in the world. So look at it that way. Let's look at item 121, 9124. I have a chance to get in on, look at this, a locket, a beautiful large locket. Again, you can hand polish it up if you need to or want to. And perfect condition inside that you can just take out. You can see behind it a lovely, lovely locket. We'll take large pictures. As you can see, it is engraved, and a nice weight. Look at the nice bail, designer look to that as well. And that entire locket. Lockets are very cost expensive. The hinge, you know, for them to make something out of silver on both sides to complete that and engrave it. So if you go and look at the pricing of them, or even in jewelry stores, they're quite expensive. I'm selling that for only $28. Only $28 on that. And what a neat gift. Remember Christmas, birthdays, you know, baby showers. There's so many times you can give a locket for a gift. Quite appropriate. Item number 1218224. Let me show you. Look at this. Since it is the last day of Opal month, I thought no better time than to show you a jelly bean of color right here. Just a real fireball of color. And let me spin that for you. I just want to make sure I put that locket up in good shape. Take a look at this. Look at those colors. This is really actually old Wellow stock. Look at that. That's why I've had it. That is a amazing stone, especially when I'm selling it for only $24. $24. Wow. Let me show you item number 1217824. And take a look at this. Look at this guy. Beautiful, beautiful tiger eye. And this is from really the best, well, I don't know, Australia's got some great tiger eye, but South Africa has some amazing tiger eye, for the most part, supplying the world's supply. You have an amethyst at the top, citrines in the corner, and look at the nice solid back, nice large size bail. You can see the size of this overall. Just a wonderful piece, and again, pricing it so that it sells, because other than that, how could anyone sell something like that for only $27, which I don't know how I'm selling it for $27 actually. That is a amazing opportunity. Item number 1216324. Look at this. Now, Bytonite, named after Bytown, the name of the city before it was called Ottawa, Canada. But it is a type of feldspar. Now, feldspar, of course, like garnets, have a lot of sub-members. So this is between, Bytonite is a feldspar between anorthite to albite. So in between, you have andesine, you have Bytonite, you have labradorite, you have oligoclase, all those different ones, depending on the percentage of the anorthite to the albite. In other words, the percentage of the calcium to aluminum changes what type of feldspar it is. But this whole parcel, all those only, and they're actually all really bright if I took them out. They're not, they're just all really very well cut stones, as you can see. And especially if you collect or start collecting something like collecting feldspars, which is fun because it's got all the different family members. It'd be a tough one to get. $24 for everything you see. $24 is it for all of that. And now, let me show you a jewel. Item 1197124. This is one, I'm going to put a little sale price on it, maybe a big sale price, because I can't believe it didn't sell. It is stunning. Look at this. Look at this aquamarine crystal. Look at how beautiful that is. Natural color. Look at the clarity. You have shoral tourmaline in it. You have a perfect termination there, just as it's supposed to. And you have a termination here. So these, you see both ends of the crystal. And then when you look inside it, it is a marvel of other beautiful, beautiful inclusions and crystals within. This is a piece that I got caught up looking inside of it for a long time. Let me just, let's take us in there for a moment. And let me show you, let's see. Yeah, this was the side. You can see that, oh, that's like perfect. Hold on. Let me get my other hand here. Let me see if I can turn that. See if I can do all this, because what I want to show you first, and then I'll focus in on it. But I want to show you this crystal that is. It's here. Well, let me show it to you right here. So the crystal you can see is actually this black one going right across there. That little one right there. So let me do this again, and then with a white background, when you see that crystal, it is terminated with multi-layers. You can't quite see it like this, but you're going to have fun looking at it. And then you're also looking at the backside of this shoral crystal that you can see through there. This is a remarkable piece. It is would make an amazing display in any cabinet, and is all natural color. I could heat treat that and take away that little green hue, but then, so what? You have a heat treated bluish tourmaline. Aquamarine. I'd rather have it all natural, just like you see that. What a jewel, what a gem. And a big discount, a big discount. I am making this one only $188. $188. That's a significant discount and a very, very valuable crystal. There's more, but I'm out of time. So with that, I'm going to wrap it up, and I'll be back with the trivia. Okay, so it is that time, end of the show, time for trivia. Don't go far, Miss Raven. Showed a lot today. Got a lot in. So hope you are paying attention and listening. Question's kind of easy, I think. And we're going to do the What Am I again soon. I'm already gathering up some items that I think will work for that. But in the meantime, 3 questions. Let's see how you do. All right, number 1. What is Bitonite named for? So there's a specific name of how it got its name. I'm kind of funny about that. I like names with purpose. So sometimes it's good to know the origin of a name. Helps you with the piece. Other times maybe not so much. So what is the origin of Bitonite, or what is Bitonite named for? Question number 2. What is the other official name for black spinel? Spelling doesn't count. I can read past spelling. And remember, once you start doing the trivia, no going back and looking. You watch the show as many times as you want, but when you get up to this part of the trivia, then can't go back and play to hear the answers back, because this is what helps build memory, right? Read it, say it, spell it, that kind of thing, from our days of phonics. So what is the other official name for black spinel? Number 3, what is the metal that hemimorphite contains in its chemical formula? I know that's an unusual one, but it is important to know some of the base elements that minerals get their start from. Sometimes it affects color, sometimes it'll help you with knowledge of what something is or isn't. Like if something is remembers it as a silica versus a carbonate. I won't give it, I better watch it, I'll give away the answer, because that's what I want to do. Okay, so what is the metal that hemimorphite contains in its chemical formula? And that's it. So good luck with that. And I have another big show planned for you next week. And you never know what you're going to get today. A little mix of everything, a little mix of estate jewelry, good deals on unusual silver pieces, and gem-orama. It was gem-orama with some amazing mineral specimens thrown in, a little bit of everything. Hope you enjoyed it. Today is Halloween for me at this moment, so hence I had to borrow a skeleton pendant, of course, from the Raven, but the gift of the black ring, the black jade, and opal, last day of opal month from Awesome. So I'm a little bit of borrowed jewelry here, or gifted jewelry, and that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that that I didn't have to make my own jewelry or give myself my own jewelry. Rock on, and rock on to all of you. Vote. That's the word that I'm going to end the show with. God bless all of you. Thank you so much for your continued support. Please don't stop. See you next week. Cheers.